Hey, good afternoon. Good afternoon. Welcome to another midweek mindset reset. We're just gonna go ahead and make this relatively quick. I'm working on a couple of things to make this even more impactful as far as mindset. I know. I guess the comments that I got from a few friends and family, and you could go ahead and drop a link in the comments. Sorry, a couple words on the comments as well. Just kind of recapping how I did the mindset before, and it was more PowerPoint presentationist and everything else, and which was the intentions because I just wanted y'all to focus on the message itself. But what I'm probably gonna do is probably do another month of that, right? And I'm revamping it a little bit so that way I can make it more of an entertaining show for everybody and still get the message across. But today, how I want to kind of attack this mindset, and again, like I said, it's going to be relatively quick. Um, we were doing something on Saturday in the mindset participation, and I want the midweek mindset folks that probably didn't catch Saturday's message to get the sense of what we have going on. So I'll go ahead and try to find the link that I shared everybody. There was a segment by Steve Harvey where he was breaking down um, when it's all said and done, you should be able to write what your vision, like make it plain and seen. So um, I do believe in journaling, right? I would say the discipline of journaling is a challenge because I have kids, getting the responsibilities done, getting all that work done, getting your trades in and all that. Journaling is probably the toughest part. But if you can find a way to discipline yourself to do the trading and do the journaling as well, also incorporate your triage in the middle of it. I try to do my triage after each and every trade. It is even more difficult, especially as a scalper. So I want y'all to understand that documentation kind of allows for your mind to remember. So there was a pyramid. I'm gonna see if I can find that one for next week's class. Um, there's a pyramid that kind of does like a triangle, and the first part of it is if you are, how can I say it? If you hear something, you could you could retain it a little bit, and then when you visualize it, you return it. Sorry, yeah. If you yeah, I think it was if you hear something, you can retain it about 10%. I'm paraphrasing, probably destroying it, right? When you watch something, you retain it 20%, and then when you start to write things down. That's why they always say take notes and everything else. You start to retain it around 30%, but the practical actions of it after you take the notes is when you start to retain it at 50% and above. And again, I'm probably destroying the percentages really, really, really bad. I want y'all to bear with me on that, but I just want you to understand the premise of that. But the exercise that I gave everybody, or the homework that I gave everybody, was to take a journal. Even if I know that most people have their trading journal, I wanted it to be separated from their trading journal. I wanted it something along the lines of a separate journal that is for your vision, right? So to kind of give y'all a little bit of insight, so here's my vision journal. Here's my trading journal. Here is where's the other bad boy, and here's my journal as far as life and everything else. So what I want y'all to do, right, is I want y'all to think of the way Steve Harvey said it. If you're gonna make it plain, whatever your higher power, whatever you believe in, and everything else, it will manifest it for you. So, at the end of the day, you will not know what you're trying to put into the atmosphere unless you speak it and make it plain. Also, you have to write it down so that way you can go ahead and put it to the test. Now, this is what I want y'all to write down. To kick it back off of what he said, he basically said try to write down 300 things that you want done by the end of 2024 going into this new year. I want y'all to treat, I guess if you've been trading for 4 years, you're at your senior year, right? Taking it like college, right? You're at your senior year. That means everything you learn in your freshman, sophomore, junior year, you should be starting to put it into practice. This is where the practical part of that diamond comes into play. And I want you to write down the 300 things. It's going to be very, very difficult. I stopped at 20 something. Steve Harvey says 75. I thought that was tough. But what we did in mindset participation on Saturday, everybody kind of keyed off certain things that they want to see in their lives, and they were good topics. If you did not catch that mindset, you really missed out. I did not record that, but I want y'all to go ahead, put inside the comments down below just little things that you want to see accomplished by 2024. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to read a few of mine. That way you can get an idea of what I am looking for, as far as getting to that goal, getting that ideology or that focus to be able to do so. So what he wrote in it, I'm gonna write this. You have not because you ask not. So what that basically means is, at the end of the day, you are basically leaving yourself at the mercy of wherever the wind blows you. And this kind of goes with the trading. That's what we tell y'all. When you're taking your setup, make sure your setups is where it is with your plan. You got to have your three W's. Why you are looking, what is your entry, and when are you going to get out of the trade, your stop loss or your take profit. So those things are very, very critical in being a successful, consistent, profitable trader. So you have not because you ask not. So I want y'all to put on that list. Maybe the first thing is, I want to be, no, I will become, because this is things in manifestation. You're basically projecting that by the end of the year you will be here. So I will be a consistent, profitable trader. That is the first thing I want you to write in there. um I have a couple of things. What type of car you want? I have one that I want for my business. Six figure income. Is that something that I actually attained that last year, which was amazing? Buy a second home. Move my dad from the city. I want to bring him somewhere else, somewhere a little bit nicer where he can retire in peace. Um, be a quarterly motivational speaker. I think I tried to do so. You can go ahead and put it in the comments if I'm actually attaining that. I'll let y'all be the judge of that. Have better discipline. Now, discipline and have better planning. I'm a Gemini. I am very meticulous on the things that I need to do, but I hate planning only because if it doesn't go exactly according to plan, it irks my nerves a little bit. It kind of gets me into a point where I'm like, I don't like where I am, or I don't like how this plan is going, or it's going against my plan, or if I'm planning something with friends and family and they don't follow the directions, especially when I try to be as explicit as possible, I try to be as clear as possible, I try to be as articulate as possible, and I try to get the message conveyed to them, and somehow some way they actually just deviate, and it just drives me nuts. So I kind of adjust accordingly. I kind of flow with things, and that's how I was in my life. But in trading, you can't do that. You got to plan. So I'm very malleable. I can adjust on the fly. I'm very nimble. I feel like I can get around, but I think it's a little bit of a challenge, or almost like an anchor to my trading. So I had to learn to plan properly so that way I can be able to execute my plans when I see the trades. So I want you to write maybe that, like, have a better discipline and have a better plan. Now, we've done lots of videos from arresting your culprits, put them in jail, how to arrest them, and all that stuff. So all those themes, I want y'all to put that into your planning in itself. Having more free time. What else I got in here? Let me go to this list. And this is some that's really new. I want to hire a tutor for my kids. This one was fun. We said this on Saturday, and somebody was like, I want to own a brick of gold," and I was like, "That's a little different," but you know what? Put it on the board. We're gonna go ahead and do that. I was like, I want to own 10 bricks of gold. I want to have it like almost like an investment, almost an asset. So when it's all said and done, of course, I'm gonna have to wait till gold pulls down, because I don't think it's going to sustain its level at 2050. I think that's where it is right now. I think there is going to be some sense of a pullback when the dollar starts to power itself up. So we're going to have to see where it goes. But if it does show me a low spot, that's probably where I want to aim. Go to Europe, go to Africa, places, planes. Um, actually, I don't even know if I want to put this on the video, but I'm gonna do it anyways. My wife is probably gonna go ahead and hold me accountable. Like, remember that day on Mindset Reset, you said you was gonna do X, Y, Z, but I'm gonna give it to y'all anyways. So one person suggested, oh wow, I said I want to have more dates with my wife. That's shout out to Freeman. He put that on the board. But I was trying to find a way to get myself into a gym, and he's like, well, why don't you just do date night at the gym? And I felt like fighting him. I'm not gonna lie. One of the things is I have had a challenge getting myself back into my athletic form, even though I'm a pure athlete. Shout out to the cheat code team and the futures floor. But at the end of the day, I do have to get myself, because health is wealth, and there is no other wealth. You can have all the money in the world, if you're not healthy, then what's the purpose? You can't even enjoy it. Can't take it with you. Can't take it with you. Um, what else? And limit my trade to one good trade repeatedly. This one, I listened to the book by oh my God, Bellafor, SMB Capital, One Good Trade. Very old book. It's very dated. It's so dated that they have him has Joe Biden listed as senator in the book. So it's a very old book, mid '90s up until about the 2008 housing bubble, somewhere around that ballpark. And the general design of that book was, don't let yourself be bogged down on what you may have missed. Some of that probably just jumped into my mic, but ignore that. Like, don't let those trades affect you. What you want to focus on is that next one good trade. If it hits your stop loss, go get ready for that next one good trade. If you missed out on an opportunity, all right, wait for the next one good trade. Everything is surrounded behind the term of one good trade, because I think, when as traders, we know what our profit targets are, we know what we're aiming for, we know what we're reaching for, and I think the hardest challenge that we have is being able to shut it down when we need to shut it down. Even if all the FOMO in the world happened, like today. Today, the market kind of was a little choppy towards about 11, 12, but it was consolidating into a breakout, right? And I was in my trade from early this morning. What I probably should have did is walked away around 12, grabbed myself something to eat, maybe run some errands or everything, because I knew the consolidations wasn't going to hold. But the anxiety of missing out, I stayed there. And by the time I got my position and I felt like the market was over, I tell myself, listen, your peak times are from 10 o'clock to 10 o'clock to 2 o'clock. And as we got closer to 1:30, I was a little apprehensive on taking any trades, but I have to follow that discipline. So, one good trade, being able to just do that one good trade. Later on, I actually started taking a trade on my stocks and options, but I was very tight with my stop. I wanted to make sure I didn't just break my rule, but I'm going to be very protective of it. If I'm going to break the rule, just be very cautious about it. And I think I was a little too cautious. My contracts, my stocks and options, it went as much as like $70. I got in at 13. It went up to like 12, no, sorry, 16 or 17, got back down to 12. Then it came up to 13, got back to 14. I was like, nah, let me just get out of here. All this consolidation, I'll get back if I see another position. I didn't see another position. By then, it already started taking off. But I didn't have the FOMO where I'm going to just jump in, because that's the last thing I want to do when it's all set it up, because it's not one good trade when I'm over here chasing the cat. All right. Let me see. Let me give another one. Build a budget for all of my listed items. Huh. You know what? That is true. I think we kind of covered, like, okay, so when I say go to Europe or go to Africa, I think this is when we started kind of talking on the floor, on the mindset on Saturday. And a young lady brought up a very expensive house that she wanted. I'm probably butchering this, but she knows who she is, right? And that home was attainable. Anything, actually, no matter what you have in your mind whatsoever, it's very attainable, other than trying to find a way to make yourself levitate. I do not think you should focus on that, right? But I do think, if you want to be, let's take the new Gran Turismo movie, right? The Gran Turismo movie, young kid, plays a video game, does all this stuff and everything else, and a challenge comes in saying, hey, you can end up being a racer just like us, blah blah blah. And he could have just gave up. I think in the middle of the movie, he even had a major accident. He could have gave up and never went back to it because he could have stayed behind the video games. There's a certain part where mind goes over matter. And I'm not saying for you to just go ahead and start, oh, you know what? Even though get my stop loss hit, I'm going to just take the next trade. I want you to refocus to that one good trade, right? So when you're trying to become a better trader, find out those key, and that's what the journals are for. Find out those key things that is blocking you from being that better trader. I on one of my journals, I think I was like, no more. Yeah, I got a couple of things like this one right here. I put analysis paralysis right here, right? One of my biggest problems. What I used to do, I used to be a director of finance, and I used to have analysis. Right, I'm always thinking. I'm thinking about what could happen, what it is, and I just want to make things so perfect that I actually don't do nothing, right? And that's what will happen in the beginning of my trading. Like I would hesitate, and then I want that extra confirmation. Then I'm chasing, and then I get hit with that herd mentality where it goes one direction, then they come and hit my stop loss, but then it takes off in that same direction. So I want y'all to really understand the no matter what it is that you want to do, if you want to change the type of dynamic of the type of trader that you are, you can do that. It's possible, but it's going to take work. First, you got to get past the mindset. Then after you get past the mindset, then you got to put it into practice. When you put it into practice, then you got to do the repetition and stay consistent. That way you never forget. And what I want to get out of this journaling, what I want to get out of the vision board, what I want to get out of my regular journal is information that lets me know on the path where I am at. And when I'm on that path, I want to be able to kind of like knock out those items so that way I can get there. So when I say put a budget on these individual timeline, all right, cool. You want to go to Africa? All right, cool. Do the research. Write it down. Let's take this into a trading metaphor. You want to be a scalper, all right? Do the research. What time frames are good for scalping? What do I have to do? What type of speed do I need to do? Do I need to understand how my broker is? Where do I put my stop loss? How do I put my stop loss? How do I, like, these are the things that you have to do. So what are the steps that you're going to need so that way you can be a scalper? So let's go ahead and go back to Europe. So if I want to go to Europe or Africa, I forgot to find out how much the plane is. Where's the hotel I'm going to stay? How much of a budget do I need to spend? What events am I going to go when I get there? Because I'm not just going to go there and just stay in a hotel. Wifey, stay quiet. I just like to be comfortable and rest sometimes. Doesn't mean I want to stay in a hotel, but at the end of the day, I like to have a vacation on my vacation and not just spend my whole entire time doing events. But I do know if I'm going to bring my wife, it's going to require some type of entertainment when it's all said and done. So I have to put these things because I know the goal is go to Africa, but what are the steps I'm going to need to get to Africa, right? So that's what I mean by build a budget for all my listed items. 10 bricks of gold, I'm gonna need a list of items. Getting a tutor for the kids, gotta put a list of items. Let's see, discipline is free, be financial free is free. Have a $1 billion enterprise, gotta build a whole entire budget. Like, how am I going to do these things? I'll give y'all a couple other ones. Oh no, I can't tell y'all that one. Y'all probably think I'm crazy. Oh, having 500 subscribers. Yeah, that's on the list. That's on the list. Try to get to that monetized level. Oh, this one was a fun one. And then I wrote the word bean and I forgot what I was supposed to be writing. I was talking and writing at the same time. Throw a taxpayers party. I got to do that. Book events. Okay, that's a whole nother conversation. That's something for my business. Oh, being able to have a quality game show. If you don't know, I am looking for contestants for What Would You Do Wednesday. Still looking. It seems like people don't want $1,000, but that's a whole nother conversation. Hit the comment below if you want to try to win $1,000. This one is probably the one that I love out of all. Shout out to the Futures Floor and the folks, the Mindset and the crew. Travel with no bag and 10K in cash. Look, imagine you could just jump into a plane, get into the plane, and you have no bag. You're just going right through there. They were like, any bag? No bags. No bags. I'm just saying. Or even if it's a private, we're just getting from one point A to point B, and I'll tell you a story after that. You just get there and you know you need underwear. You buy new underwear. You know you need clothes. You buy new clothes. You know, oh, you know what? I don't have a watch. Oh, buy a new watch. You could just buy everything you need, and then so you pretty much are traveling to shop. you're already going to do the shopping, but why shop when you're home? You can do that anytime. Well, why not shop when you're out on a trip? That would be pretty cool. The reason why I'm gonna paraphrase and probably end it here. One of the things that really took me aback was the fact that I was dealing with a client, and the client was coming from the FSU game. Mind you, I'm trying to pull up one of my documents at the same time, so bear with me. And in that FSU game, um, they basically was like, "All right, cool, thank you, Jeffrey, I appreciate it, yada yada yada. I need y'all to take, I need you to take me to the airport." I was like, "To the airport? Which airport?" "The executive airport." "All right, cool, no problem." And I was like, "Well, are we gonna pick up your bags from the hotel or anything?" "Oh, no, no, no. We just flew in this morning." And we just came in just for the FSU game. I thought that was probably the most amazing thing that I've ever heard from any individual when it's all said and done. Because at the end of the day, right? I'm oh, hold on. Where is my thing? Oh, there's slideshow and slideshow, but I don't want you here. I want you over there. Oh, I know why he's doing that. You know what? I'll just do it the old-fashioned way. All right. So, what I realized when what they did, they basically picked up. "Hey, what you doing?" "I don't know. I'm not doing anything." "Hey, you want to go to the FSU game?" "FSU game? I don't have any tickets." "Well, I got tickets." "All right, cool. Well, we're gonna get there. We're gonna take my private plane." "All right, cool. We're gonna take my private plane." And they just jumped in the plane, came for the game. The game didn't really go their way because they were FSU fans, right? And I hope they don't find this video. They probably think I'm talking about it. But anyways, I was amazed at the fact that as they flew in, they came to have some fun with friends and family, and they're just doing a turnaround, jumping right back in the plane as if the private jet was their own personal car, right? If you want to go to a football game in your own city, what do? You get in the car, go to the park, and boom, boom, boom. Or you take some type of transportation where somebody drives for you. I don't think that he was the pilot, right? So maybe this is like public transportation to a certain, or actually maybe more of a private driver, right? Private plane, private pilot, private driver. They're saying like it was probably the most amazing thing in itself. So imagine if you was able to just take a trip, take a travel anywhere, wherever it is that you're going to, and be able to do what you want to do and have fun with your friends and family. I think that is probably the most amazing thing that I've ever heard from anybody. Let me see if I can minimize this. Next slide. I want to display settings. Swap display. Nope. Show taskbar. Nope. All right, we'll just do it. You get to see some of my notes in this. So what I'm going to go ahead and share here is how I wrap up all the time. Listen, this is going to always be there because this is very important to me, and I want y'all to be in the same page with me, right? So as you go through this, don't forget to make sure in that list you have self-awareness and emotional check-ins. How are you feeling it while you're writing down this list? And put that in there. That way it can fix some of the emotional things that you need, or if there's something that you lack thereof, or maybe you just have something that is positive and you want more of it. Today, let me grab my journal. On my trades today, I actually, as soon as I find it, where are you? I actually today I was positive 19.2 ticks. That's counting the fees that the broker takes too. So I had a very positive day. Yesterday I had about 30, almost 40 ticks positive. I don't have that number listed here. I gotta go back into my triage for that. So emotional check-ins. I want more of these. So I'm about to put that in the list. More 19 tick days at the very least. That way I can feel comfortable that I'm doing solid in my trades and keep that one good trade going. All right, journaling and reflective analysis. I don't need to tell you much about this. This whole entire video was on that, and that reflective analysis will add to your vision list, vision board, vision this, whatever you want to call it. At the end of the day, put it plain so that way you can go ahead and attack that list and get everything that you need. Setting boundaries and limits. Today, I set a very key boundary. I felt like the market was doing whatever it wanted to do. I was not going to be the one holding the bag. I set my boundaries. I'm educated on market climates. I looked over the data and everything else. I knew when the news was coming out. We took the trades based on it, and boom, there's your uncle. Even those that was a night trading this morning. I know you saw some of the stuff that we did today. I want y'all to repeat that. A little bit of a flaw in me translating what the news said. I do apologize for that. But when we was on the right page, we were able to kind of capitalize. Scenario planning. Need I say more? I'm planning my whole entire scenario with my vision list. Diversification and portfolio rebalancing. Don't forget to take care of yourself. Out of this one, I'm probably going to set some things to the side so that way I can make sure I keep that account positive. That's going to be part of my diversification and mindfulness and meditation. This is what we're here for today. And I thank every one of you for taking the opportunity and make sure you do some solo meditation. Actually, that was another thing I forgot to put on the list. Meditate. I think we was talking about that on Saturday. Meditate more. But we were talking about meditate in silence. So meditate in silence versus meditate with sounds, because I usually have like music in the background and everything else. So however you get to your mindfulness and get yourself back to zero. We had a great week. If you took any of this upside momentum, I don't want y'all to be discouraged that there'll be no more days like this. What I want you to be is empowered that you were able to capitalize on a lot of those opportunities. If you missed out or you feel like the trades wasn't going your way because you was thinking it was supposed to be more bearish than bullish, by all means, do not fret. Go back, look at your trades. What did you do in your analysis that could change? That will add to that mindfulness and meditation. So that said, I thank you very much. Y'all have a great day, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye-bye.